Chaos Bikes and Beta Motorcycles presents a Midsummer night single track. We head out on a night ride and we get ourselves into a pretty sticky situation. Stick around to see how we get out of it.
We're gonna go do voodoo trees in the dark. Me and Lukes KTM share it.
Featuring a special guest this episode, Lukes Enduro KTM on YouTube. Make sure you check him out for some unedited, raw content. Enduro, two-stroke action. He is absolutely crazy, and he's riding all over the place. You're on board with me, Kaylee Chaos, on the 2021 125 Beta RR Race Edition.
Where the fuck is Luke? Oh, he's turning his camera on, I bet you.
And Luke is also gonna have some footage in this video, so we're gonna be swapping between the two cameras to really get you a good picture of what's going on. You'll notice when you're in these more open areas, it's really difficult to see anything on the video. There's just not a lot of stuff for the light to reflect off. As we kind of get into the tighter stuff, you'll see a lot more as the light reflects kind of off the trees and everything else. Speaking of which, I have brought the brightness and exposure up a little bit on the video, so you will see that it's a little bit grainy, but the GoPros have a really small sensor on them, so they're really not good at night. So that's kind of what we got to do to really make you guys enjoy this enough to be able to see properly.
A little sloppy through here, but not too bad.
Now Luke doesn't really know the way through here. For being such a good rider, I assume that he kind of know his way around. But he just rides a ton of really tough stuff and not a lot of these basic trails. As I mentioned earlier, we are doing voodoo trees, so it's kind of an intermediate trail. It's not too crazy, no real crazy hills or nothing. But it's definitely going to be a good one for him because this is Luke's first night ride. Pretty cool spot here, even in the daytime. Cooler at night for sure. It's kind of a truck quad trap. You can't get through with anything other than a bike. It's a good way to close off an area. Again, you're still on board with me here, Kaylee Chaos. Snaking our way through this old service road here. There's a bunch of blowdown trees all over the place still, even this late in the season. There's just so much of it that it's kind of impossible to deal with it all. And save for our lights, it's absolutely pitch black out here.
How's that so far for you?
That's fucking different.
Isn't it?
I mean, I want to switch the cell phone off. I think the cell phone screen's fucking with my eyes.
Ah.
Even the GPS screen, it'll definitely kind of screw with your vision a little bit.
That's taking all my concentration of my eyes.
I hear you, yeah.
I also don't know the terrain. I haven't done this trail.
That's fair.
Yeah, so it's, yeah. Because on this quad trail, I've done it years ago. That hole there is fucking deep.
I didn't realize that you didn't know about it. I thought you would have been familiar with it, so.
Lucky I can say a little slower, but it's still got me pretty good.
I was surprised there. It's right up here.
Yeah, I was definitely surprised to find out he's not super familiar with all these basic trails. But anyway, here we are on Voodoo Trees. We're heading north to south. Some blowdown as you get started here. And then a gate, you can see everyone smashes their bars on those trees, but I made it through with relative ease using the dirt bike ballet, which we're going to be releasing a video on sooner than later. Nasty down tree. Figured I'll snake under it. Luke's like, I'm going to go around it. Now we're on board with Luke here. I come out the ass end of that tree there. Back on board with me. This is the first night ride that we did this year. On the single track anyways, I did do that earlier night ride on some of the quad trails on the way back from that bonfire. This is a whole different ball game.
That way!
We'll jump back on board with Luke here. It's definitely a little trickier to navigate out here in the dark. It's definitely why I choose trails that kind of know where I'm going. Voodoo Trees does have a lot of twists and turns. Can definitely be a little confusing even in the daytime. There's several spots to enter and exit. Coming through this field here, Luke wasn't very sure, and I can't blame him because you don't know if there's logs or rocks or whatever. So he was taking her a little easy. Uh-oh. This music's never good. Oh, a couple of shitty logs and boom, I'm down. Bad angle on it. There's really not a ton you can do when you're coming that fast at it. But nothing major. I'm up and back on the bike with a quick dust off. And we'll get back on Luke's footage here to see that crash from a third-person view. It's really not as bad as it looked on the first-person view. Navigating all these down trees, and man, there's a ton of them, I'll tell you. Kind of a nasty section there. There's a whole bunch of gross roots. And back on board with Luke. We'll get him coming through that same section. Back on board with me, I'm like, what the hell? I don't remember this. And this is one of my favorite trails. Like you can see, we've done this trail a bunch of times, and we even did this trail like I think it was a week and a half before this video during the daytime, and this was not here. So I go in basically head first. I'm like, oh, it can't be that bad, can it? I'm just getting absolutely soaked. Like I'm wearing sweatpants and a sweater, not like proper gear, because we're just going for a quick ride, you know.
Fuck! That sucks. Oh, fuck.
He's giggling at me. I'm just hand bombing this thing. I ain't having it. I want to get out of that water as soon as possible. It's just a terrible situation, to be honest.
Around and get a better line. I'll give you some light though first.
This is a nice thing about having a super, super light bike. And you're like, oh, what am I going to do? Well, you just lift it up and over.
Crazy fucker.
And you're good to go.
Okay, just stick around there for me a bit.
And of course I'm gonna. Not going nowhere at night by ourselves. Back with Luke here on board. It's the devil you know versus the one you don't. He's deciding. Maybe I should, but no, he's gonna go through the same hole that I went through. Because the devil you know is probably a little less bad than the one you don't. Coming into that hole, but he's got the 250, so he's got a lot more torque.
Wow!
That's why I'm saying, wow, it's quite surprising. I was revving the piss out of my bike. He got halfway out, barely revving it up past 3,000, 4,000 there. Gave her several good attempts, but it's such a steep lip and it's so slippery.
Yeah, nearly had her. I might have you pull my front wheel. It'll be easier.
Just that little bit of reef in there makes a big difference. It gets out in no time. Come through these 2 down trees here, kind of like a gate.
Woo!
Luke's using the GoPro Hero 5.
That was fucking gnarly.
It doesn't have quite the stabilization that the Hero 7 has, and up, I got the Hero 7.
Expecting that. I'm fucking soaked.
But yeah, I was totally not expecting that hole to be there.
That way.
You see there's a lot of cutting around all these trees that are down. Makes for a good challenging ride, but now we're all uncomfortable and wet. Still pretty warm out at this point, which is good. I'm probably overdressed.
That mud was not there fucking 2 weeks ago. This is one of my favorite trails. It was pretty good. I'm pretty wet, yeah.
We're just kind of making our way back up the last part of this trail here. It does connect relatively close on a connector back to camp. Back on board with Luke as we cruise through some of these S-curves and up a couple of these little hills. And I think he's quite enjoying himself. We'll see about that. Next time he comes out, we'll be back on another night ride, I'm sure. A lot of blow down there that we just blew through. Back on board with me. We'll come over this bridge here right away. Right there. Shortly after you come over that bridge, and there's Luke going over it there. The end of the trail is pretty much right up here. There's one last shitty obstacle as you come up this hill though. If you're not ready for it and you're not on it, it could be difficult. It's a downed log and it's bigger than it looks on video, that's for sure. Luke coming up this last part here. Relative ease, and of course this log for him is a surprise, but with the 250, plenty of torque to just pop over it. And then we make our way back to camp to let everybody know that we're not dead. Make sure you stick around, this video ain't over. We got some bonus footage coming up for you. This is some daytime footage that we got from just riding around. It's not like a full ride or anything. This log is crazy. Got me making it over with relative comfort. Now we got Mike. He makes it pretty decent there. And here we got Luke coming over.
Oh, it's totally gone. That was a greasy double.
Yeah, that spot used to have 2 crazy double logs. The blowdown through here is just crazy. Absolutely nuts. Like, pretty much every single trail has several trees downed on major spots, and a lot of trails have kind of rerouted around them because they're, in most cases, pretty difficult to get a saw to. You can see someone came through here with a saw and cleared a lot of this. We're back at that massive log just for fun. I didn't come over it near as good.
There it is.
And Mike made it pretty good through there. And Luke with relative ease as well.
Fuck, that was so scary. Holy.
This section's pretty sketchy too, coming through here. A lot of weird angles on these trees and steep areas. Coming down here just puts you at a terrible angle for this tree. And I get hung up on a root because I got to rev the piss out of this 125.
Fuck, really?
And usually I go for the higher part there with no trouble, but on this day I didn't have the new tire on the bike, and I was just kind of doing the best I could with what I had. You'll see in a couple of these new videos though, that new tire I put on is absolutely freaking insane. Easiest in this case is just to get it to a better position to get over that. It's not an uncommon technique. Of course, the ideal position would be to stay on the bike the entire time. And again, so many down trees. There's a lot of pathfinding through here. I mean, a bunch of guys have been through here, but it's not very obvious because there's so many cross trees.
Haha.
You can see that tire track there though that he was following. I get hung up in there. Luke snakes by, no problem there. Now we got Mike hung up here. Kind of a gross spot. These suspended logs, even that one's not that big, but they sure aren't easy. Luke's taking the high road, and I'm hung up on a branch again. It's not all that bad. Just gonna bounce over this. My ass end didn't slide everywhere on that, which is good. Another nasty angle log. Good technique here. Put the foot down, kind of just bounce over it. Use your suspension, a little bit of throttle, a little bit of clutch. This is one of those days that it's just
crazy blowdown.
Super hot outside.
This is absolutely wild. Spot was bad on the way in.
And it was really bad on the way in.
I was riding Luke's 250 and it's a whole different machine out here.
His 250's got this like marshmallow plush suspension, and you don't have to rev the piss out of it. Now my old 250 was like that too, but it was a clapped out piece of shit compared to a nice 2018 XCW. Another nasty log here.
It's a tricky section right there.
I was lucky the camera died just in time to capture both these guys getting over this log.
There it is.
Yeah, Mike made it over. And you're just going to catch Luke making it over right here as the camera dies.
Whoa, whoa.
Thanks for joining this adventure. We hope you had as much fun as we did. Check out the other riders' channels on YouTube at Team Midsummer, all one word, and at Lukes Enduro KTM. They both have a ton of cool footage. Grab some Chaos Bike swag, show your support with some t-shirts, hoodies, and much more. Check it out at store.streamelements.com/chaosbikes. Check out my other channel, youtube.com/chaosdubs for original music, crypto gaming content, and more. And be sure to take a look at the upcoming project and adventure that I have on the go, Rustic Saunas. You can check it out at kayleechaos.wixsite.com/rustic saunas. You can also find me on Facebook at Rustic Saunas and Instagram. Portable sauna rentals and custom-built saunas suit to your needs. More night riding footage coming at you, as well as plenty of other backlog footage that I am slowly getting through. Thank you for watching, and see you soon. Take care. Chaos Dubs out.